Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Ultimate General American Revolution, and we're returning to this series. It's still in the early days of the campaign. We were playing as the Americans. Eventually, I keep seeing people comment on my YouTube videos for this, like, no British campaign, blah blah blah, but patience, the game is in early access, it will eventually have a British campaign. As of right now, it only has the American campaign, and in the start of that campaign, we won some meaningful victories. We took Newport from the British, we took Providence from the British, we took Middleborough from the British, then we swung around Boston and took Salem from the British, and eventually, after a series of battles in and around Boston, which were largely Pyrrhic in nature and we are still not fully recovered from, we were able to take Boston from the British, more or less destroying their 7,000-man force there. I do think a portion of them did make it out to Fort Stevens to reinforce the garrison there, which I think last we saw had about 1,600 troops. But yeah, mostly destroyed that force, which had been based out of Massachusetts. We have now moved our main body under the illustrious commander, not George Washington, but Horatio Butcher, a apt name if I ever heard of one. We have moved our main body west to Bennington, New York, in preparation for an assault up the... Is this the Hudson River Valley? The Champlain Lake? Whatever. This up the river valley through central New York, north toward Fort Saratoga, and eventually Ticonderoga. We do have an objective to take Ticonderoga within 34 days. So we don't have a lot of time left, especially if we're going to end up fighting a big battle at Saratoga that then requires we pause and regroup. That's not a lot of time to do that. Additionally, these are forts, so Ticonderoga is a level 3 fort, Saratoga is a level 2 fort. That means it's much harder for you to attack those positions. They have strong defensive positions in these forts, and that's going to be tricky for us to win those battles. Now, we did lure about 600 British troops out to chase our main commander. About 669, nice, British soldiers have moved east of the river and are still out this way. I believe they're starting to return towards Saratoga, so I think what we might actually do is we might try and intercept them, destroy them out in the open, and then close in on a weakened Saratoga. I suppose that is a viable option. One of the problems that we face is we do not have enough ammunition for all of this fighting. We are doing some production of ammunition here on the production management screen. We're producing about 2 ammo per day. We've got about 201 in stock, but the problem is distribution, less so actual ammunition. We've got over 200. That's 4 times the total carrying capacity of this entire army, so we do have sufficient ammo to fight. The problem is bringing that ammo up after a battle occurs. So I think what we will actually do is we will go ahead and buy an ammunition wagon, which probably won't play a factor in the first battle, but may allow us to get resupplied more quickly. Trying to see where it makes sense to build this guy. It's going to take a while for it to march west to get into place. Boston has the most ready ammo at 11. Hartford is 8. Just trying to see if there's anybody else who's closer. I suppose you could build it at Hatfield, but Hartford has the recruits necessary to build it up quickly. So I guess we'll go there. We'll base it out of Hartford. Let's go ahead and raise a... Oh, well, here's the other problem we've got. We don't have any officers to lead it. I don't really want Artemus Ward leading a supply wagon or a unit around. He's kind of... That's like using Washington to leave a supply wagon around. Does Artemus Ward work as a... He's a downgrade at quartermaster. He'd be an upgrade at chief engineer, but Jay Richardson's a mayor, not... Or he's a major, so I could actually assign him to a command, couldn't I? We could assign Ward also to command one of our field armies, but we don't have a second field army slot right now, so we will probably move Ward into a different command later. But for the moment, we'll make Artemus Ward the chief engineer. Did that change anything, by the way? I don't know. Theoretically, maybe... Oh, it did speed up things a little bit. 1 day shorter on our new weapons production timeline, so that's, I guess, decent. So that should free up that other commander, who's probably also massively overqualified for leading a supply wagon, but I feel less bad about assigning Jay Richardson to that post. So we'll make him commander of a supply wagon, which eventually we'll probably swap him out of that command. I only have 2 wagons, so I think that's only enough for 1 company. I don't think we have more, actually, so let's go double check here. If we go to the market, where do you see wagons? We've got 2. There are 5 on the marketplace. We have a little bit of cash. We could buy, I don't know. We could get up to 4. I don't know exactly. I don't think we have enough spare ammo here to carry more than that anyway. But we'll go ahead and do that. I assume that it'll actually be 4 wagons for the full company, since it's 2 for the initial purchase. And that's 20 out of a maximum of 50 men. So it'll either be 4 or 5 for the maximum unit size. Not enough ammunition or provisions. Okay, well, you've got a day to rest and do nothing. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull our army out of Bennington to try and intercept these 600 men. We'll leave the understrength units that still need to recruit more soldiers in the base for now, or at least some of them, not all of them. All right, let's just form an army here. We've got 2,000 men. We're going to move out. I hate the movement in this game. Like, just go. The problem is with a smaller force like this, we might lure out the rest of the main body at Saratoga, so let's actually just get almost all our troops going that way. And if we do that, we could actually move the 500 troops at Albany forward, so let's see about that. It did do that, actually. So you actually go back to Albany, because you're luring them the wrong direction. Why are you guys marching west? Don't do that. This is such a... I hate the movement in this game of forces. We're about to have a battle here that none of my troops are ready for. Hey, guys. Alright, what's going on here? So we've got 1,000 men. They've got 3,000. We've got reinforcements coming. But I don't actually want to fight that, because I need these guys to get west. They want to fight along the river line. I'm fine with that, but I need to get the rest of those troops in so they're not classified as reinforcements. So this will be 3,000 troops with a lot of British artillery against 2,600 of ours. So it would be everybody who's in Saratoga. But am I attacking Saratoga here? Because that's not really what I want to do. I don't want to do that. So let's actually pull these guys back. This is effectively, we're just skirmishing with them. If they want to pursue, they can, but is there any way to like change this engagement box? Doesn't look like it. To get less of their troops engaged. All right, we're going to move south, I guess. Maybe we'll pull these troops out of Albany. It did seem like that was going to trigger them to advance that way. Let's merge some of these guys into brigades. Apparently we're no longer luring them south. We have 32 days left to take Ticonderoga. Those guys, have we had a day go by yet? Yes. Not enough wagons. You know, honestly, that's probably fine, right? 40 out of a potential 50, like, who cares if it's not quite a full complement? pause. We're going to send the supply wagons toward Albany. The main problem is here, I don't have enough regiments. I don't have enough commanders to raise another regiment here, which I would like to do. I'd like to have more troops for this assault, but I do not have the officers to lead them. Granary in Portsmouth. Did we ever start that? No, we didn't. So we're not gonna get that. I'm assuming it'll take more than the required days. What happens if we do? What does it say? 25 days. Yeah, let's cancel that. Infrastructure in Portsmouth. I think we're already doing that. Do you guys hear like a weird buzzing noise at all? I'm wondering if there's some interference on my line here. Hey, coffee. All right, we're doing infrastructure, right? Let's go to the construction tab. Infrastructure in Portsmouth, which is up here. I think, right? Yeah. Maybe we're not building anything up near Portsmouth. Oh, shoot. Did I get my money back? I did. Okay, Portsmouth. No infrastructure is being built there. All right. So, production infrastructure, I guess. I don't really like investing production infrastructure generally because I feel like it's a little bit of a waste. Not a waste, but like this is a very vulnerable area to a counterattack, but I suppose we can do it. Just hoping. Every time I hear the word tinnitus, I always think of Archer. I don't know. I just feel like I hear something. Let me just check one thing. I don't know. No, those series are not over finished. I just haven't gotten around to them lately. All right, so let's see here. So what is... I just don't know what to do here. We can get the extra 500 men out of Albany. That'll help a little bit. I guess we can pull the troops out of Bennington just because we need them. But like these guys are way understrengthed. 22, 22, 146, 140. So two of the companies are in good shape. Bennington needs more men. Let's do this. Let's put Goldberg into Fort Rice. And then we'll pull the troops from Fort Rice and move them to Bennington. Wagons also should be on the way. Our patrol came across a local poacher who was harvesting fur in forbidden places. We can confiscate their booty or let them go in peace. Well, the Connecticut people really like me. Loyalty's 94%, so I wouldn't mind the furs. British agents exploit existing tensions between Native American tribes and the American settlers, exacerbating conflicts and inciting native attacks on colonial settlements. Oh. Okay. We'll be going here in just a moment. I'm just trying to shift troops around so that we can... Alright. Go inside Fort Rice. Then Fort Rice's 500 men come west to join me. Meanwhile, the wagon is showing up. Thank you for the donation, Massachusetts. Oh, crap. What did I click? Okay, so they want me to take Montreal and Quebec. I clicked through something else too quickly to see what it was. How much ammo is in here? Not much. Might all get eaten up by these guys replenishing their stocks. Alright, once this guy arrives, then we will move north. So we'll get 500 more troops, so we should have about 4,000. Oh, God. What are they doing? You know what? That's fine. Go chase them. We're gonna cross on... I might have lured them out without intending to. Thank you. All right, so that worked. All right, we're going to have a battle. The assault on Fort Saratoga is going to begin with 3,000 Americans against 1,000 British, while another almost 2,000 are moving east. Whoops, I didn't click the right button. Oh, apparently I just, by misclicking that left 600 more troops out of the reinforcement range. So gladly fight this battle outnumbering the enemy 3-1. Let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to be assaulting a fort, so that's never a given, but we'll see if we can take Saratoga and then maybe push north to Ticonderoga before we run out of time. By the way, also 15 minutes ago, Boulder, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, so we've got the fort here. We've got our own forces southeast of the fort. All right, so let's go ahead and merge these units together so we get our super companies. One thing to remember with this game is that individual units are represented by companies on the map, not regiments. So these are not actually... Each one of these is not a regiment. Each one of these is technically a company. That's why you typically see them around the 100 to 150 man size. All right. It's too bad all my riflemen died. I could use them. I also really do not like the way the individual boxes stack for each force because they create a really convoluted deployment zone, although this is probably among the least convoluted we've seen. All right, so what I would like to do, and it's going to take a little bit of time, but what I'd like to do is try and swing my troops in so that we surround the fort. It does look like maybe there's a gap or two on the front. Also, these are rangers here, so these guys might be able to be overwhelmed because they are pretty loose. Their formations are pretty weak to the east. Although you've got the inner and the outer fort, which is a challenge. We do have some artillery. They have more. Can I not move that guy over there? I can't. Do we just have the one battery? I think we do. Fudge. It would be nice to have more artillery. They are 6-pound guns, which is nice at least. Alright, we're just going to start. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have these guys... Well, they can't even see everybody because we're far enough away. Okay. I wish I could zoom out more. Move them into the woods over there. Okay. It's good to stay out of enemy artillery range, at least. Presumably, we're out of their range if they don't see us. This is kind of a convoluted way to order troops around, but drawing routes, I think, is important in this scenario to avoid the enemy artillery. Gonna bring all of my regulars around the wide way. This is gonna be a slow process, unless the enemy decides they don't want to fight and decides to retreat, but otherwise this is gonna be a... It's gonna take a while to get everybody deployed. Oh. Alright. Where are you going? Ouch! Also, they probably have more or less unlimited ammo for their artillery because there is an ammunition depot there. My troops more or less have full ammo. It looks like most of them do. It looks like they drained the ammo out of the supply wagon. I wonder if we capture the fort if we get the ammo they might have there. Can't see anything for my artillery to shoot at yet. Get them into that cover. They're hitting my troops that are moving around. They've got, what, 2 batteries here, I think? But let's go ahead and get those men moving. They are moving in a weird way. They're like, nobody's in a formation. I do have regulars. They shouldn't just be, like, walking. Alright, our own artillery is returning fire at least a little bit. Why don't we see if we can shoot at the enemy guns? Can we do that? Less worried about the front rank. I'm probably not going to do much against them, but maybe I can weaken some of their artillery there. Probably burn through all my ammo in the process, but it's just like a migration of, you know, I guess they are mostly militia, but theoretically, I suppose I could starve them out, but I don't really have the time to do that. Again, I've got 30 days to take 2 forts, so I don't think starvation is a viable approach. Even if it is, again, theoretically, units do have provisions, so looks like our cannons have started the front face of the fort on fire. Our own men are tired from their exertions. Would this be a better route? Can they shoot into the flank, maybe? They push forward the guns a little bit. Maybe they can fire into the flank of this enemy artillery. Maybe they'll do more damage than shooting into the front of this stone wall. I don't know how close they have to get to be able to shoot at that. Oh, not that close. They're still a ways off. Although the enemy is shooting at them now, which is not great. I suppose maybe better that they shoot at them than my infantry. Alright, I might have to pull back. We're losing. We're not doing any damage. Pull back. Get back into the tree line. Any troops in place yet? Oh my god, where are you all? You look like ants. It would be nice to have some It'd be nice to have some rifles so we could pepper these enemy troops rather than likely getting obliterated on a frontal assault. But hey, you know, it is what it is. I think maybe we'll launch a probing attack on these 112 troops with like 1 or 2 companies. Just try and feel them out a bit. At least the artillery's hurting them a bit. See what the enemy does in terms of sending these flanking companies to support. What are these guys doing? Get out of there. Like, almost just staggering into range of the enemy guns. Is this unoccupied? Or do we just not have eyes on what's here? There's got to be an enemy unit there. I can't imagine they would leave that fort section unoccupied. Can't imagine they would anyway. Maybe they did. It certainly looks unoccupied. Alright, these guys are all recovered mostly from their fatigue, so let's stack up on that opening in the fort. Did they evacuate here? Did my artillery hurt them enough that they pulled out? Or maybe we actually destroyed the front of the fort here by the looks of it. Maybe you can't... It looks like the defensive value of that part of the fort is gone. So actually we obliterated the front gate. Okay. I didn't know your artillery could do that, but we do have 6-pounders, which are the heavier of the field guns, whereas the most of our guns are like 3 or 4-pound galloper guns. Well, they're closing the back door now. But the front door is open now, I suppose, with the gate being destroyed. Might be a better use of ammo to focus on the infantry in the open, but we're almost out of ammo too. But if we could blow a two-hole gap in this, that would sure be nice. I'd have to shift all my troops back around. This is a bit of a leisurely pace, I will acknowledge. Technically, the artillery doesn't totally run out of ammo. They just are less efficient, so they slow their reload down a ton. So I think what we will do is we will keep the plan to probe forward with 2 or 3 companies now toward this empty spot. Maybe engage this enemy troop in the open. That'll draw the enemy artillery fire certainly at our troops. Maybe it'll cause them to shift some of these troops in the rear of the fort. And then if they do, we'll move this mass of troops in the rear forward. And if they don't, well, we'll see. Let's get one more shot off against this front right company. And then we'll go. See how much slower the reload is? They're out of ammo, so when they do reload, it's absurdly inefficient. Why are they in front of this spot on the fort, though? Because they should just be back further, right? I don't understand that. Should have just focused on the troops in the open. How much further do you have to move forward? Can you? Okay, let's do one shot on these boys in the open. Interestingly, the enemy stopped firing too. Maybe they're tired, and so they're trying to preserve their fatigue or regain their condition. Because we still have troops that they can see. Oh, come on. You had a chance to fire right down their flank, and all you got was one dude? Alright, let's push forward here. Let's probe them out. Forwards! For God's sakes, forwards! Can we get another... Probably not. I was going to say, can we get another volley off before the troops all get there, but doesn't look like it. Come on, lads! Forwards! The one company that's exposed themselves in the open! Surprised the enemy artillery isn't... Oh, here they go. They're shifting. I was going to say, I would have thought they'd start shooting at us, but... Ow! We only got 2 guys there, too. Ow! Interesting. They move... They attack, move forward, pull back. Okay. Alright, well, we're going to press against this one company. They've got an open section in the fort if we can push past them. This left flank company's taken the brunt of the enemy defense so far. Nice, they're retreating. Probably just into the fort, right? Alright, they're technically routing, but I think that just means they're retreating. Did they surrender? Get out of there. Pull them back. I didn't think we'd actually destroy the company. Well, they pulled one company away from the rear of the fort. Alright, these guys lost about 50 men, got pushed back. Alright, these guys are technically in cover now. I don't know... They're going to shoot at the retreating company? By all means. Oh, I didn't mean to charge. I just meant to shoot. Oh god. Don't do that. Why are they retreating back the other way? The retreating in this game seems jank, like way worse than it was before on the previous versions of the patch. It does seem like getting these troops up on this wall has done a lot for their... Well, maybe not. I was going to say done a lot for their survivability, and now they're all dying. Alright, they're going to pull this company out, so I'm going to move forward now, immediately. Alright, they pushed these guys out of their fort too. You guys want to shoot at my infantry in the open? Be my guest. Oh, they drove those guys back. Alright, we drove those dragoons out at least. Other troops behind the fort will move forward now. Man, they do... So I'm guessing there's a penalty in that because the actual defenses are facing the other direction, your troops don't do very well there, because they sure don't seem to do very well there. The light troops seem to have no desire to stay and fight, which I understand. Remember, we should outnumber the enemy 3 to 1. I'm thinking it might actually just make more sense to move the troops. Don't get into the fort. It seems like getting into the fort's a bad idea. How does the Steam release compare to the early release? Well, the early release came a long way. It's a lot more, you know, a lot further in development. The American campaign is fully released, if you will. So, in that sense, it has come a long way. It is still obviously buggy. I think we're seeing that here. But it is definitely, like, the campaign is in theory complete in that you can play the whole campaign. Yeah, those guys are routing from the field. The enemy does not have enough fully formed companies to occupy the fort at this point. So we are taking a lot more in the way of casualties than I would have liked. Who just surrendered? Did they surrender and then unsurrender? Because that seems strange. I lost my chain of thought. I was hoping to surround and destroy the enemy. It would seem that we are probably not going to destroy them, but rear flanked. Oh, here's the other surrendered unit. Okay, so the main obstacle at this point now is the cannons. Okay. I think we definitely lost more men than I would have liked, but I think we will win at the very least. I haven't actually destroyed many enemy units yet. Although we have captured several. Alright, everybody in the fort pretty much actually has been captured now. Okay. Go get them. I don't know, if we actually inflicted 1,000 casualties on the enemy, if we pretty much captured or wiped out their whole force, then maybe the battle wasn't a disaster. Maybe it wasn't a Pyrrhic victory. I'm wondering if it makes sense to get everybody resupplied from the fort magazine. I don't know how the game will treat. Like, is there sufficient resupply there for us to take all of it, you know? Alright, they're going to run off the map. So we won't quite capture everybody, probably. But the vast majority of their companies are ours now. Have we taken the fort yet? Alright, so go ahead and resupply everybody. Go get all the ammo. right, can we move this cannon into the fort? Are these guys pulling supply? They are. Nice. Okay, so everybody's getting resupplied who's in the fort. I assume that will translate into the next stage of the, post-battle phase. It'll look at how much ammo everybody has. I hope that's the case. Is this releasing soon? It released on Steam, but it's in early access. I would imagine it's still a ways away from a final release. But it released into early access on Steam, like, I don't know, 3 days ago, June 6th. So 37% of the magazine's full. I just want to get, all right, so the cannons are fully supplied. So we'll go here. All right, so 3,000 men deployed. We lost 481. That's not as bad as I thought. The enemy lost 691 to casualties, or killed or wounded, so we actually inflicted more on them than they on us. They lost all 7 of their 8 guns, and then they also lost 348 captured, so the entire enemy force, I believe that math adds up, more or less, was destroyed, so 900, 1,000, so not quite. They've got 100 men who made it out. But 1,000 versus 400. Those are casualty ratios we can live with. So we'll have to see on the strategic map what the situation looks like. But remember, the enemy did have about another 2,000 troops that moved northeast. So these guys' ammo is not completely full. There's no ammunition in these wagons. We're going to go ahead and put them in Albany, and maybe they'll pull some ammo that way. It'd be interesting to see if the enemy moves troops toward Bennington to try and take that location from us. And would it make sense to move east to fight them in the open field, or would it make more sense to move north toward Ticonderoga? I can't really afford to lose Bennington, so I think it probably makes sense to move to engage. I guess we'll see what the enemy does. They are chasing these 500 troops toward Fort Rice. We're taking the fort, right? Go take the fort. What's the skull and crossbones? What's this? We've been informed that our 19th Regiment of Foot, commanded by Owen Leckie, was found dead near Noakey Janison's militia brigade. Huh? So the whole 19th Foot, I'm confused. Or just one officer. Was he murdered? Is that supposed to be they killed people who tried to surrender? I'm not really clear on that. The way it was written makes it... I don't think they're intending to say the whole regiment was killed. I think they're trying to say that the officer of the regiment was killed. I think. You guys get in the fort. Do we have any ammo? We do have some ammo. Oh, nice. Saratoga does have some nice ammo stockpile. Okay, so you leave here and go to Saratoga. All right, we got to see. I'm assuming they're pursuing to Fort Rice. I don't particularly want to fight over there, but the flip side of that is it is astride our supply line between east and west. I think they're going to move troops toward Bennington by the looks of it. Was that Fort Rice? Yeah, they're attacking Fort Rice. All right, so we have 1,600 troops at Saratoga. All right, we're going to move in behind these enemy troops. We'll outnumber them if we get there. Where are these guys going? Hatfield has a garrison. We're routing the defenders. Fuck. We didn't get there in time. Fort Rice is going to fall. Fuck it, I don't care. Let's go for Ticonderoga. That's the objective. Hatfield has a garrison these guys are going to retreat to. New Haven is unoccupied. Are these guys retreating? Is that what? I don't even know. All right, we got a donation. These 300 troops go to Bennington. The rest of these boys are going to move on Ticonderoga. These 600 men might be moving for New Haven, maybe. Do we have any available officers we can recruit? We don't. None of these garrisons have sufficient... Did they expand the map further? Oh, they did when we got the objective to take Montreal and Quebec, right? All right, I will be honest. I would rather lose Albany or Kingston than lose New Haven, given it's a port. So if you can beat the Redcoats there, do it. I mean, they'll probably still take it from us, but... we're about to have some real border gore, huh? All right, so... What's the headquarters situation look like? 42 days on Continental Army. Quartermaster Chief does have... All right, let's do this. Place that project. Spend that prestige. All right, we'll do more research speed, I guess. Gonna play wide then versus tall, maybe? I don't know. Because I can raise a regiment once I get that new officer. I can stick that regiment in Hartford or New Haven. Or Kingston. Hey, why is nobody... Alright, so they got 1,000 men at Ticonderoga. That is not too bad. Go back to Continental Army. Abamil Whitefield. We have no... Guess your militia unit's going to get brown besses. He did, yep. Ethan Allen and his Green Mountain Boys. Let's move Cole back to Kinston. All right. What is this? Oh, this is the first time I've seen native tribes on the map. 1,500 native soldiers at Ticonderoga. I can't pronounce that. But that's the first time I've seen non-American or British soldiers on the map. I've seen Prussian flags in one or two cases, but not really many of them. All right, so 1,400 men with Hawkins are going to move up with Butcher. Chambly is also going to move forward, so They are a possible faction. I don't know if they fight yet, but they will. I know they will. All right, so all these boys got their ammo fully restocked from the Saratoga supplies, which is good. We'll move 2,000 troops to face off against the enemy at Ticonderoga. We should outnumber them 2-1. Not quite the 3-1 advantage we had previously, but it's something. And then we'll move back to retake Fort Rice and figure out what else is going on around here after that. Chambly needs a little bit of a break. He's exhausted. James Wallace raids. Royal Navy officer Sir James Wallace, commander of HMS Rose, has plundered valuable provisions and hay from Prudence Island, Rhode Island. Negative 50% provisions for 30 days for Providence, New Haven, Hartford, and Newport. Fuck. And that's like, it's August. We're getting toward winter. That's going to matter. All right, Chambly, can you rest for like a day before we go? I want you to be a little bit better. The natives are not mercenaries. They have their own political... All right, everybody, that's going to do it for today's episode of Ultimate General American Revolution. We've been going for almost an hour, and we are about to fight the battle for Ticonderoga, which is a longer fight, so we need more time than we have today to be able to finish this thing. We will be attacking a level 3 fort. I think it's the strongest fort in the game. If not in the game, then certainly on the part of the map we have unlocked so far. And so it will pose an interesting and unique challenge for us to be able to reduce. But that'll be for the next video. Until the next video, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Please feel free to leave your thoughts down below. And until next time, as always, I'm out. Bye-bye.